Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. Well, let me in this video explain to you the Proac sound as far as I remember it. I actually had a Proac model about 10 years ago, and it was I think it was the D18, and perfectly good, decent speaker, okay for the price, kind of interesting. That was like the I would call the first real speaker that I got, and fine, just not really a problem, just like a fine, okay type of sound. But of course, it had its shortcomings. But I mean, it's just a nice, really good start, and especially when you're going from the D28 models. And probably now in 2020, I guess that they're better. And I'm just referring to the like the old D28 sound, and I found it to be fine, actually quite okay, good round, good entry sound. And you could make it work with a lot of gear. And I had the chance to listen to it on a really expensive 150K Spectral system. And I mean that's truly awesome. There I could really hear the full potential of the speaker. But let's just go to the minus side, and that's just Proac with regular gear. It's like, eh. I really can't say a lot more than that. It's just, eh. Um, it's. I remember it as if it was yesterday, and it's the fact that it was just annoying. You had this like listening fatigue building up, and I was just constantly on the fence, not really entirely sure of what the hell is this kind of thing there that I just bought. And I also heard that a lot at friends' places. It's got this like doubtful, suspicious sound mixed with some cool, tight bass that doesn't really fully settle, and a low frequency that isn't quite there, and lots of holes and bits and pieces that are kind of sticking out and kind of grabs your attention and lures you in. But I don't know. It's a bit like a 5-year-old child with on ADHD medication. It's just unsettling, um, and it's just like a lot of gear on the market. You're just stuck in your head, trying to think, what is this? What's going on? Because it had a bit of everything, and still not really, and it just annoyed me. I have to say that it didn't take me more than about a month after having bought it, where I just thought that, oh, this thing just doesn't sound good. It doesn't matter what I do. The speaker positioning, the cables. I can't remember if I had Macintosh or YBA or what I had at that point. It just didn't really react. And it kind of annoyed me, and I really wished at that time that I had the the D28 model, because that was clearly a lot better. But still, again, that suspicious kind of makes you wonder type of thing. And yeah, it sounded really good on $150,000 Spectral gear. I mean, Spectral is just awesome. I mean, you could almost put that on any speaker and it would just sound awesome. Um, so I don't really know what happened there. I never really heard that same level of Proac sound again. And I heard a lot of bigger models, with regular gear like Macintosh, Proac, not Proac, Past Labs, Mark Lemons, and Aquaface, stuff like that. And that's okay gear. It was a lot better gear than I had back then. Um, it just weird, kind of all over the place, but still kind of good. And you know, it's just that magical word, doubt. It just kind of makes you wonder, and once in a while, it just does some really amazing stuff. But again, I'm brought back to the time of when they originally made their first line of speakers, and just thought that was kind of more earthy, real, subtle, but also boring and dark type of sound. The old Proac sound, and it also like it just wasn't really good enough. The unless you probably take the highest or second highest model that they made back then. It just was hard to drive, and it just no. So that's the confusing thing about all of these many of these brands, is that it just does 1, 2, or 3 things out of about 10, and it just leaves you wondering like, oh, should I have bought the bigger model, and if even if I did that, would I then have been satisfied? And I, thinking back on it, and having heard the bigger models afterwards, no, I would still not be satisfied. I mean, unless I had like the biggest model, which is like, I don't know, 10, 20 times more expensive, I still kind of wouldn't be there yet, you know? No. A lot of potential, like a lot of other gear out there. It's just that, you know, that brightness where it sticks out. It's kind of sexy, but it really isn't, and it's a bit flat. And you never really get the full depth and the full bottom end. It's like too tight and kind of holding on to the music. And just no, not really me, but kind of interesting. You know, I think it's definitely something that you should try, because I think that a lot of people would like this type of sound. But my huge recommendation is that don't try the bottom models. This is a very good piece of advice for most people out there. Most brands and their bottom models suck. I mean, you just use a lot of time mentally dissecting the sound and doubting yourself, like, should I have used 25 or 50% more on getting that next model, and it's almost always a firm yes. I recommend that you never ever buy a speaker that's at the very lowest end of basically any brand out there. I just don't feel that it represents that brand well enough. And a good example of that is Martin Design. Martin Design makes some of the greatest speakers in the world, but you're not gonna get me to listen probably the lowest 3 models. No way at all. I'm not gonna listen to that. I need to go like 8 models up before it really starts getting interesting for me, you know. And I think it's just when you're down there, and you're down with the really scrappy models, they're almost always thin and light and sticking out in sound, and you can't really work enough with it, because if you want to add bass, you kind of have to compensate. You kind of have to go for, you know, lower compensation methods, like using a Fender and Hull power cable, or I don't know, taping all your power cables so it gives it a bit more bass, or like sticking your speakers completely up against the wall, side walls and back walls to boost the sound. It's just annoying. But yeah, some people like it. I just recommend that, you know, if you want to start on Proac, go for the D28 model. I don't know if they've changed their model names now, and I expect the newer models to be better. I expect them to be better. They usually are with time. So that's my cynical review of Proac, having owned it and heard it a lot of places. Sorry if it didn't help you, but that's how I see it. You know, when I look at something, I see the long term effect of owning it, and is it really gonna last? Can I predict where it's going? And I just felt like this did like a number on me, where I just couldn't really quite figure it out, quite enjoy it, and sit back and listen to music. So not really for me, but I think that a lot of people would like it. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that brand, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye.